Muhammad encouraged Muslims to create social bonds through their work within their communities. In his young age, before he received the message of Islam, Prophet Muhammad, along with his uncles, attended a meeting of a social organization called the Alliance of Virtue. This organization was established to help the oppressed and to foster justice in and around Mecca. After receiving the revelation, the Prophet showed his esteem with such organizations and said, "I had witnessed, along with my uncles, a meeting of the Alliance of Virtue in the house of Abdullah ibn Judan, whom I loved more than the most precious thing, and if I were to be called to join it in Islam, I would." Muslims believe in fostering good traits and condemn evil acts. In fact, one of the lesser pillars of a Muslim is fostering good and forbidding bad. This is known as Al-Amir bil Ma'ruf wa Anahi an al-Munkar, meaning commanding the doing of what is right and forbidding what is wrong. This philosophy allows the Muslim to practice what is known by all people to be good, such as obeying traffic laws, penalizing the criminal, stating the truth, etc., and also rejects what is known as bad or immoral, such as intoxication, harming neighbors, stealing, and lying.
Some scholars say ma'ruf is that which is recognized by all people as good, and munkar is that which is recognized by all people as bad.
Islam by now has a strong footing in Arabia, and the Muslims enjoyed the peaceful years after the Treaty of Hudaybiyah was signed. However, this peace would not last. 2 years after the Treaty of Hudaybiyah was enacted, one of the Quraysh tribes breached it, attacking and killing 20 people from a tribe from the Muslims' camp.
The treaty is basically, at a certain point, seen as violated by the Meccans, who undertake a series of attacks or getting others to attack the Medinan community. And so, in effect, the Prophet says this is abrogated. The Medinan community moves on Mecca. And at the end of the day, the Meccans, realizing that they are facing a highly motivated community, and in a sense, overwhelming odds, are subdued, surrender.
The Prophet moved into Mecca with as many as 10,000 people and entered the city peacefully. He entered the city with his head bowed down in humility to God and with respect for the city's sacred house of God. He forgave the Meccans with his famous words, "Go about wherever you may please, for you are set free." Muhammad's action in forgiving the Meccans was magnanimous, since Muhammad was at the peak of his power and he could have easily crushed the Meccans. In contrast, the Meccans, at the peak of their power, executed the Muslims, who were weak and defenseless.
The genius of the Prophet here as a leader is very interesting, because he does not choose to do what many at that time might have chosen to do, and that is to simply subdue and slaughter in a way to get revenge, to retaliate and get back. But rather he takes the high ground. The Prophet accepts the surrender. A fairly significant number of notables convert to Islam, and the Prophet indeed offers positions of significance to a number of the Meccans. And so in many ways, the Meccans now become absorbed within that broader Islamic community.
During the Muslims' peaceful re-entry into Mecca, the Prophet announced, "Anyone who enters the house of Abu Sufyan, who is the leader of the Meccans, is safe." Here, we see that the Prophet was acknowledging the stature of the leaders of Mecca, and he showed that the Muslims were not to abuse the social and political structure of the society. Once the city was opened, Muhammad appointed Attab ibn Asid, a member of the Quraysh tribe, to rule the city, rather than placing himself or his regime to rule over Mecca. God emphasizes in the Quran the sacredness of the human soul and condemns acts of terror. If anyone slays a human soul, unless it be in punishment for murder or for spreading corruption on earth, it shall be as though he had slain all mankind. Whereas, if anyone saves a life, it shall be as though he had saved the lives of all mankind. Quran 5:32. Muslims believe that any regulation or act made for saving a human life, such as traffic regulations, medicinal child-proof bottling, and the protection of the ecological system, are examples for saving the human life. A Muslim is rewarded for inventing and practicing such measures and showing respect for the human soul.